Cavs Pacers next.
Works for me. It's the only series we've had 2 games in. As we're recording, the Knicks and Celtics are playing their second right now, but this is only we have 2. And
As we're streaming, we're not recording.
true,
We're
as we're streaming. But the Pacers have a surprising 2-0 lead. After watching the first round, I don't think this is shocking, but to go to Cleveland twice and win both those games is a pretty big deal. I do know the Cavs have big-time injury issues. Garland didn't play in Game 1, and then in Game 2, DeAndre Hunter, Garland, and Mobley didn't play. So in that sense, it did feel like a game the Pacers really didn't want to get away from them. However, we watched this game as well, and the Pacers did not seem like they wanted to win this game.
Not at all.
Pretty bad basketball from them. The effort wasn't there. They're letting guys like Max Strus, Dean Wade out-hustle them, get offensive rebounds against them. Siakam's getting boxed out by Dean Wade. Just not great. And then they turn it on late, and they steal a win. Tyrese Halliburton, the clutch man that he is, misses the free throw, gets the offensive rebound, and hits a huge 3 to steal the win. Is really how it felt. They were down 7. It was another thing. They were like down 7 under a minute, and only 3 teams have done it, and they've done it twice in the past week because they did it against the Bucks when Gary Trent couldn't catch the ball. So a huge win. They're up 2-0. They're going to their I don't even know the name of what's the name of the court? Do you know?
I don't. I'm pretty sure it's called the Field House, but I don't remember what the sponsorship is.
Gotcha.
Right.
Well, they're going to their home court for the next 2 games. They technically could close it out without having to go back to Cleveland. I don't expect that to happen, but it could.
Do we have a time frame on when some of those injured guys are going to come back?
We really don't. Darius Garland's is a toe thing, but they're all kind of game to game stuff. Like we could go to Game 3.
Gainbridge Fieldhouse.
Thank you. We could go to Game 3 and all 3 of them could be healthy.
Yeah.
Healthy relative. They could all be playing.
Yeah.
Or they could all 3 be out. I did not expect all 3 of them to be out in Game 2, which kind of tells me that
Mobley and Hunter played 30-plus minutes in both of them, and then Mobley's out with an ankle injury.
Yeah.
And Hunter was out with a thumb, so that was extremely surprising, which is why we sat there and okay, Pacers are winning this game. Why are they not favored? In fact, they were underdogs by 5.5, and so we put 2 bands on it. Not 2 bands, 200.
2 bands would be crazy.
No, 2 Benjamins on it. And we're like, okay, Pacers win this easily. We get plus money on it too. And then
it looked terrible.
The Pacers awful. 32-15 in the first quarter. The energy was not there.
Said we did. I sat there and said I will not be participating because Vegas. If Vegas has Cleveland favorite, I'm not about to jump on the other train. And JP was like, "Nah, we got it. It's free money."
It was another one of those things as a semi-professional gambler that you think this is so easy. This is just free. Why is it sitting there? And you go and you try to take it, and then you watch the first part of the game. You're like, what did Vegas know? Yeah. What did they know? How did they know this? And the Cavs being without Mobley and Garland and DeAndre Hunter, they come out, they set the tone early. They play with a ton of energy. I mean, Pacers were just playing atrocious. Donovan Mitchell was great. Sam Morrell hit 2 huge threes. Ty Jerome was getting what he wanted. And they could just control this game for literally 47 minutes.
Yeah.
And then they choke it at the end. And yeah, Donovan Mitchell scored 48, another elite playoff game for him. But he was the reason they lost the game. He was 100% the reason they lost the game. He just a lack of focus at the end of the game, whatever you want to call it. I would call it a lack of caring and a lack of wanting to win. He fails to box out the shooter twice.
Yeah.
And so Aaron Nesmith comes to the three-point line and dunks it, and Mitchell fouls him, and then Mitchell somehow hurts himself. And then right after that, he throws his elbow at Nesmith for no reason, commits an offensive foul. Easily could have been a flagrant, but it wasn't called. And then when Tyrese Halliburton's shooting the free throw, he has to box out the shooter. That's something you're taught in second grade.
Yeah,
sure. When you're shooting free throws is someone has to get shooter, and he doesn't. And Halliburton, it hits the front of the rim, and it's up in the air too. Mitchell doesn't go up and jump for it and doesn't make the winning play that we have seen others make, like when Jimmy Butler made that play in the Rocket series, specifically in Game 4, and he just doesn't make the play. And so Halliburton gets the chance, and he gets the shot, and he makes the shot. a ton of credit to Halliburton. This kid is insane. He doesn't. Again, I'll quote Kenny Smith again from TNT. He is one of those players that you don't see a lot of the time, that he can create the pace of the game, and he can control it and make you play that pace.
Yeah.
Like, think of
Sure.
Grant and Angle Ball. He makes you play at that snail pace.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how fast you want to play. You're going to play at Grant's pace. Tyrese does the same thing. He makes the other team play at a fast pace, and that's why you're seeing in all of the Pacers games, all of them are in the 120s, and the rest of the NBA is playing in the 90s and the 80s here in the postseason. And Tyrese just has that skill where he can make his team play at a pace that the other team has to play at.
Sure.
And it works for the Pacers. It really does. It's not a lot of time does playing really, really fast work a ton, because you're going to go through cold spells, and it's hard to continually gain confidence. You can choke leads very easily. But for them, it works because they like to come from behind, and they've done that numerous times already in the postseason. Halliburton was great down the stretch. Nimhard gets that great turnover. Neesmith was great as well. A ton of credit to Indiana. Like Jack said, they stole this game, and now they're in a spot where Game 3 is in their house, and Game 4 is in their house, and Garland's still hurt. I expect Mobley to play. I expect DeAndre Hunter to play, but who knows? And Donovan Mitchell was clearly banged up at the end of the game.
Yeah.
He got beat up in a few spots. So they are in control of this series. They have a really good chance to take it here in 4, and that should be the objective. Like, you should be sending Cleveland home in 4, and you should not be going back to Cleveland. You need to take advantage of this opportunity, go out and win these 2 games, because Knicks Celtics, especially after Game 1, looks like that series might go 7-6 games. Get the rest, have the advantage, and now you're in a spot where, unlike last season, where you played 7 games with the Knicks and then you got to play the Celtics after the Celtics quickly dispersed of whoever they were playing. I forgot who they're playing. But you were behind the 8 ball. You were tired.
Yeah.
And now you're going to be in a spot where you get the chance to be rested and ready to go for Game 1 against 2 teams that you think you could beat. One you've already beaten in the Knicks, and 2 in the Boston Celtics that you stole some games. And objectively, that series was really, really close. The Celtics kind of held on 3 different times. So credit to the Pacers for stealing a game they had no business winning.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Jack said it like 20 times. They're like, oh, they just don't care tonight. Like,
Yeah.
they just don't want to win for whatever reason. And somehow they still end up winning this game. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's another very Pacers game in the sense of, from a scoring output standpoint, you have 6 guys in double digits. No one scores more than 23. A minor gripe I have with the Pacers, and I think we saw it especially in the first quarter. Tyrese ended up playing 36 minutes, but he sat for like 6 minutes to end the first quarter, and you're letting T.J. McConnell run the show, and Ben Shepherd is getting minutes, and Jarris Walker is getting a couple minutes, and I just feel like they are playing too many guys. I get, depth is important, but I don't like, at least the way the depth is utilized maybe, or the situational pieces of it. I mean, T.J. McConnell, I know plus-minus isn't perfect, but he played 14 minutes and was minus 15. Jarris Walker, 3 minutes, was minus 8. Thomas Bryant, 11 minutes, was minus 9. I really felt like it was a lot of the reason the Pacers came out flat and played bad for the majority of the game is because it felt like their rhythm was off because they just kept rotating guys in and out and in and out. And then when they closed, they just play their best guys.
Yes.
All of a sudden, it's like, oh, hey, we got a basketball team again, and they look better than the Cavs.
No, that's completely fair, because if that first unit doesn't come out and set the tone, then you're relying on the second unit to pick up the difference, and that's hard to do, especially in the postseason. So I see that. They're kind of forced to because of the pace that they play.
I guess that's
guys
fair.
are going to get tired, but we have now seen, like you said, that they are really productive, especially in the last 8 minutes. I imagine they're probably second behind the Timberwolves and how they play the fourth quarter. So they Yeah, I think there's some truth to that. I think that could be part of the reason that you try to go out and win this in 4 is you're going to have that rest,
Sure.
and then maybe you can play those guys for 40-plus minutes.
It's a thing, too, of, like, this game probably looked worse because I think all the lower end of the rotation guys had bad games at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it really easy to sit here and be like, wow, that really didn't work. But just something I've noticed. And then on the Cleveland side, the biggest piece I want to point out is someone that has been hyped up a lot this season, got 6th Man of the Year buzz, has had a great year, but with Garland going down and not playing the first 2 games in the series, has stepped into a larger role, a higher usage role, and he scores 2 points in 28 minutes tonight. Ty Jerome, that is 1 of 14 from the floor, doesn't hit a 3, doesn't get to the free throw line, a couple turnovers, only has 3 assists. Has not stepped up in the way the Cavs needed him to fill the role of Darius Garland. I think their coach said in the press conference, he's been great all season. Like, we trust him. He's our guy. And that's great. But he has not at all been that guy in the first 2 games of this series. And that's been a huge hole, an issue for the Cavs. I mean, 2 points from him. And we've seen, in the first round, which I know they're playing the Heat, and the Heat were sunk. But he had big games, and he's just not at all done that this series.
Yeah, that's well said. And for him, because he's going to be a liability on the defensive end every single time.
Yeah.
Like a Steph Curry, like a Luka, you have to produce offensively to counteract that. And he did not do that yesterday. Max Strus was picking up where Ty Jerome should have been. Realistically, if Ty Jerome plays even a little bit better, the Cavs probably win this game.
Yeah,
it's kind of. I agree. That's kind of inexcusable, especially if you're going to be in this 6-man consideration and you're bumping up into the starting lineup. You kind of need to set the tone and be a part, because largely the 6 men that wins 6th Man of the Year are producing and scoring. They're typically the 3rd or 4th best scorer. They just happen to be the guy that comes off the bench.
Yeah, they get starter level usage rates and such when they're on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Think about like a Lou Williams that has won it multiple times.
And Ty Jerome didn't do that. And Peyton Pritchard did in game 1. Pritchard set the tone early for the Celtics. He had quick 8 points. I don't remember what he finished with, but you're going to get thrusted in the starting lineup. You need to take advantage, and you shouldn't be in a spot where your counterparts are scoring, like your best player is scoring 48, and then your shooter is scoring 23. Like, you need to step up. I agree. That's well said.
Yeah. I had something else I wanted to say. Oh, well, he's also just losing himself a lot of money. He was
Sure.
In a weaker free agent class. He was going to come in, look to kind of get a bag, and teams are at least going to second guess if this playoff performance continues and he has the series rounds out to be a full-on clunker. Teams are going to hesitate before giving him that money, because at the end of the day, you pay guys and you form teams to win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
And so if he shows you he can't do that, then at least he can't do it in a focal role of the offense capacity. Then you're not going to pay him to have that role. He's going to get bench player money.
Agreed.